So they're
Mhm.
always talking to leadership. And then if they had to bring in, I don't know, developers or something, they keep us all on task. And then when I was working with the DoD, with the Army specifically, we had a project management, like PBO said, we had a whole PMO office, and they would assign a project manager to us, and then that project manager would say have system A, system B, and then they would lead those teams, keep us on task. They would, if there was deliverables we had to do, they'd make sure we hit those deliverables at a certain time, and then we'd have like meetings, weekly meetings or whatever to keep us on task. Another thing they would do is if there was dependencies, they would we have to reach back and give and make sure we were hitting those dependencies weren't hindering our work. So they were just keeping us on task, and that was the main thing that they would do. So it's a super important project management is a super important job, and it's something I encourage folks to. Another thing to keep their mind open if they're trying to get in the IT space to where they don't want to do a lot of heavy technical stuff, like not super deep in the weeds on one thing. Project management might be a great direction to go to keep your mind open to it, especially if you have a leadership background, a management type background. Am I right or am I sounding
No.
Yeah, I
crazy
mean,
here?
I think from my experience, I would say you to get started, and this is the way that my brain has pieced this together so far, and my limited experience is that you have to to me it almost seems like there's one or two lanes to get in. You can be that project manager type, whether that's your actual role or not, and be someone that is able to speak and deliver things clearly to upper management from a technical standpoint. And even if you're just repeating things, regurgitating things, whatever it is, your ability to again speak in front of people, speak in front of leadership, speak in front of executives, say things clearly, concisely, be able to answer questions, that kind of thing can be important. When I first started my position, it I was potentially one of the most I was definitely one of the least experienced from a technical standpoint that that came into the job. What impressed them was my ability to talk to things, my ability to speak to things, my ability to have that dialogue with leadership individuals clearly, concisely, to the point where they always ask me, "What was your background before this? Where you're an aircraft mechanic? Where'd you?" Just again that ability to clearly and concisely speak to things does pay dividends, and that's where I always give credit to going to college, because although it's not for everybody and it's not necessarily what's going to guarantee you a job or anything like that, I do think that's something that I did benefit from going to college, specifically grad school, was that I was constantly up talking, presenting, giving speeches about technical stuff to a lot of industry professionals that were working as adjunct professors. Having that feedback of being able to present to them, to me, was valuable, because then when I had to do it on the job, it was second nature to me. Again, where I think there was a difference between me and some others was that they were more technical. They were the ones that were coming in the door with the A plus. Maybe they had worked some help desk. Maybe they had some of that more entry level IT experience, networking experience, whatever it may be. But the business side, the public speaking side, was where they struggled. I think there's like a line of demarcation there where, yeah, you can come in on the technical side and be super technical and be behind the scenes and potentially never have to speak to business requirements or brief senior leadership or any of that kind of stuff.